Nice. Welcome back, everybody, to Good Mom. It's nice to see you and hear you. And hi, Sunny. Good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Lindsay.
I have a topic today that is kind of near and dear to my heart because
Okay.
I used to teach a class at the University of Washington that was called How to Get the Job You Want That Hasn't Been Invented Yet.
Oh, I
And
love it. Yes.
I think what I'm noticing out there in the real world is that so many jobs, so many careers, so many things they haven't been invented. I was just realizing that it wasn't even that long ago when the first iPod became a thing, and now we have podcasters, and who knows what's next,
Yeah.
right? So the idea here is that there's a skill set, and I want to talk to you about this and see how this works with your own family too. But if we're trying to, in our own lives, build a career, we have to know what we're really good at, how we do it, and kind of what makes our secret sauce ours
hmm
so that we can share it with others and ultimately get hired to do a job. Okay. And sometimes our skill sets apply directly, point blank to a job description that somebody has written. But so many times they don't. So we're going to talk about the skill of how to find the magic in your secret sauce that makes you awesome sauce that then you can apply to a job. All right?
hmm
So I'm going to take my own life and I'll just use it as an example and how it's evolved. And then I want you to do the same because I think you could probably show how yours also went the same way. So when I left high school, I told all of my friends I was going to be the next Barbara Walters and I was going to interview everyone about their life story. Okay, that was my vision. Okay. And I was really good at interviewing. I had done a lot of it in high school. As I mentioned in a previous episode, I'm championship friend maker. I love getting curious about people. And that curiosity became a skill that I just didn't know how to apply. But here's the thing. I got into Pepperdine University and I started learning about television production and all this stuff. And I realized I didn't like all the stuff. I liked the curiosity, but I wasn't really into the other stuff. And then I took a class in business and just went, whoa, that's where I belong. Because I really loved the inner workings of these systems and how they work together and how I became really interested in people, profit, and process really fast. Like that was just my jam. Well, now what do you do with that? So my career kind of went from, oh, I'm good at interviewing, I'm good with people, profit, and process. So it kind of starts to make sense there that I might do, as my first job was, human resources.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because in those days, this is back in the 80s, folks, way back, 1980s, whatever century you're listening to this from. In the 1980s, human resources was the group of people responsible for managing the human capital, the people that were in the organization that needed their benefits and their systems and whatever. So that it all made sense, right? I could link it together. Today, it doesn't make sense. We're living in a time, and I presume it's going to continue to go and grow this way, where you get to invent the job, which I'm going to call the joy of brilliance.
Mm.
Your brilliance must be applied to humanity in a way that feels good to you
Yeah.
and that's in service to something greater than you.
Yeah.
Okay?
hmm
That's what your job is, and you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'll pause right there and just go, I know there's a lot of moms listening right now going, I went to school to be a this.
I know. And they paid X amount of dollars to become a this, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just suspend your thinking around that for a while and just see if you can see another way to take what you know and apply it to what humanity needs right now. So I'm just going to pause there and I want you to tell your story.
You know, I feel like I had a really cool opportunity to test out some of the stuff that you're talking about because when I first got into the job market, so to speak, I had jobs that were directly related to my degree. So I went to school for broadcast journalism. We have so many similarities in
I
our
know it's so
lives,
wild.
Lindsay.
By the way, we still find these things out, everybody. Don't
I
think that Sunny and I know all this. Stuff comes up and we just go, whoa, you did that too? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
So
it's Right.
I kind of followed the typical route in the very beginning. So I got my first job, a couple days, believe it or not, right after I graduated. And I was a news anchor and reporter at a station that was about this big.
Yeah, love it.
Mainly animals were listening and watching me, but that's okay. And then, I had a couple jobs. Okay, I'm done with this contract. Let me go to another station. And the idea was just to kind of move your way up the market. But it was not fulfilling for me. Still, and I always had a really strong connection to God, source, creator of the universe. And so I would ask, I'm like, okay, I have this skill set. It seems like it could be applied in this way, but this way is not fulfilling for me. But I would have people say to me that it was really easy to connect with me, like you, Lindsay. It's really easy to talk to you. Oh, I really feel like you're listening to me. I feel like I could tell you anything, kind of thing, right? I'm like, that's a skill set. And it was effortless. Like I wasn't trying to get anything out of it. It was just happening naturally. It's just, in my case, a lot of times it happened to be on camera, but I was being Sunny. I was being real and just wanting to connect with people. So that's a skill that, that I really like. And fortunately I get to use it a lot, but kind of at an early stage, after those first couple jobs, I decided to take a step back because that was the time in my life when I was starting to have kids. And I knew the news business was not very conducive to family life. Yeah. And I was like, I don't like that. And I don't like the backstabbing and the nastiness and, oh, I'm going to try to take your job. And I didn't want that to be part of my life. Yeah. So I took a step back. And then from that moment forward, I felt like I had to get more creative because once you take a little bit of time off to be a mom, even if it's only a year or so, in the media business, a year is forever. It's forever.
And now today it's even worse. It's like 2 weeks is forever. I know.
So I was in a position, I was like, if I'm going to jump back into the workforce or have a career, whatever, I'm going to have to do things a different way. And so I started looking at my skill set and going, what could I do? What would make me happy? Yeah. And like you said, Lindsay, these jobs did not exist. So I had like 3 or 4 jobs in a row that I went to the company and I said, I like what you're doing. This is my skill set and I think I could help you. What do you think? 3 different times they created a job for me.
Yeah. So see, we are both products of that. I have invented every single job I've had since my first job. Yep. They didn't exist. They weren't even a job description that someone else wrote.
Yes.
In fact, I can't remember the last time I applied to a job. I'm putting air quotes around that for those of you who can't see me. I don't even know what that means to apply for a job. It's more like, oh, I see what you're doing there. I know how to do this stuff. Can I help you by doing this and adding it to what you're doing? And most people are like, sure, that's a great idea.
And I've also heard from a lot of people, Lindsay, that the whole process of trying to find a job, and AI is a little bit to blame for this, it's made it so impersonal that you have so many people applying for the same job and then not hearing back and not understanding why. And, it's kind of a mess right now anyway, that I really like the model of going after whatever you want. Or the other idea, and we have both done this, is create your own business. Become an entrepreneur. What are you passionate about? If it's not already out there, this is kind of my motto. Like, if it's out there and there's someone else you could partner with and make it even stronger together, great. Yep. But if that doesn't exist or it doesn't exist with the right people, then that might be your sign that you need to do something on your own.
It's yours to do.
It's yours to do. And I believe the funding and everything will happen. And this is part of a changing world. I know it doesn't seem like it's set up this way now, but that type of support will be available so you can truly do what you're passionate about.
Yeah. And it's so important to do that. So if you are a mom and you're realizing that you want to create your own joy of brilliance and a new role for yourself, start there first. If you're a mom who's already done that, or you're in a job and a career that you absolutely love, then take to heart what it's going to take to help your child learn this skill set of inventing their contribution, whatever that's going to be, because yours is not the same as theirs. I don't care how much alike you are. It's not the same. And as much as you might want your kid to take over your business someday, in my career, I've only seen that happen effectively about 5 times. Okay.
Where
So
they really wanted to do
where
it,
they
right? Yeah.
really wanted to, and it was a great fit, and
Yeah.
everybody in the family was happy. Outside of that, it's hit, miss, not so much.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would just say, if it's yours to do, do that, and then help your kids get the skills of tapping into resources. The person sitting next to them on a bus ride to their current job could be the person with the clue for a company or a project or a thing that's happening that meets with what they want to be doing. And you just have to stay open. And if your face is constantly in one of these and you're not looking around you to the other humans that are there, you run the risk of never finding the right people or group or company to work with that applies who you are to the greatest contributions.
I have my oldest he's just wrapping up his freshman year of high school.
Oh,
And
see?
I'm already trying to get him to think about, okay, what do you think you might want to do? But he's not in a place yet to really understand where everything is going, right? He still
Sure.
he has a different mindset right now. I mean, he's 15 years
15.
old, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what, what you were thinking about when you were 15, right?
No, exactly.
But it's tough because like I'll say, hey, what are you thinking about doing potentially? And he'll say something and it's like a very 3D type of job, and it is one of those things that you just go out and you apply for. And it's tough as a parent because you want to encourage big thinking,
Yeah.
but it's tough because they may not truly understand what you're talking about yet. It's like, Mom, what do what that concept may almost be too big for them at this moment, but at the same time, you want them to keep their options open and not just focus on this one thing that's available right now because everything's changing.
Exactly. And you are hitting the nail on the head. They don't have perspective yet. Which,
Yes.
before age 30, truly, none of us did.
Yeah.
It's just the way that brain development goes too. But what you can do as a parent is just listen to the things that really excite them.
Yep.
These kids are going to be just doing projects and applying their skills to a variety of different things as they emerge. And some of them will be the entrepreneurs, the leaders who go, okay, we need solar power in Zimbabwe. I'm going to work on that. Anybody want to do it? And then there will be others who come along. And that's how it's going to work.
Yep.
So learning the art of where you like to fit into a team, how, all that good stuff is what our kids need to know.